All right, we back. They cut the live off. Man, yeah, my shit start acting stupid, man. Man, I try. I'm having technical difficulties. They cut the live off. I be going through hell and high water trying to run these shows, man. Yeah, they cut the live off. I don't know what happened. I was trying to boot this thing back up, but it went off. You know? Yeah, I feel you, party. Yeah, it cut off. But we back. If you guys could please share the show, we back. Yeah, man, this thing is putting me through hell and high water.
Or you may say, "Oh, talking PA. What about your mom? If your mom's black, you know what? F her too. How about that?"
Oh my God, this my guy is tripping. All right, so
Your
let me.
sister's
That's why they put all that weave in their hair and they want to be with
Guys
white
like
men.
you.
Envious of white women. That's why they talk so much crazy stuff about white women. And what else? Yeah, they're trying to start a war so they can get with white men, but white men don't want them. Like you said, they don't want them. They obese. They got a lot of bad stats. That's not on their side. That's why women, especially black women, hate stats. Women really hate stats in general. They don't like logic. They don't like stats because you can't manipulate with when using stats and logic. So women don't like those things. And turn on the AC now. That's the name of my channel. Feel me? So go follow your boys. It's me and my boy Arnold.
Yeah, guys,
You're
go subscribe to his channel. How many subscribers do you have?
Oh, we don't got that many.
No, I'm saying we could see how many we could get in a stream.
Okay, we got 239 right now.
Pearl helping out a black man.
Watch some of these shows on YouTube, but she's been making her rounds, and she's definitely a feminist. I think she hates men, and you know how women project how they feel onto men. So she would say that men hate women because that's how she feel about men, and that's how most women do. So these feminists, they talk about you hate women, you hate women. We try to correct women. They always talk about how we hate them. It's just projection because most women hate men or don't like men.
Yeah.
And so I have what I call the feminist conundrums. The feminist conundrum is you want a man, but you hate men. So how are you going to figure that out? And then you don't want a man to approach because men are creepy and all this stuff. But then women won't approach, court or marry a man. So now we're just staring at each other.
What's going on, country boy?
The other thing too, I think most black men would prefer to marry a black woman. It's just like the stats I was talking about. Like when I've dated interracially, most of the guys said they like would have preferred to be with a black woman, but it's like they just kept fumbling, and so they're like, I got to go elsewhere. Marvel at the top shelf, white athletes marrying black women. Yeah, it doesn't exist. Like it doesn't exist.
Hey,
You said it's the educated lames taking the tethers and simp enforcement slots. I don't know. I mean, they probably could be because a lot of those cats they'll do anything for a whiff. They'll do anything for a whiff. You know. But I'm gonna tell you the truth though, because it's not just men and women in these spaces that believe it. People really believe that there's a male loneliness epidemic, and I'm not gonna lie. What that's meant to do is to make actual men feel lonely because they're being told. It's like some of these stories that's coming out, they're lies. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of these stories that's coming out, they're lies. There is no male loneliness epidemic going on. But the thing is that when y'all see and hear some of these stories, they're not telling you there's a male loneliness epidemic going on. It's really man, they're telling you, hey, you feel lonely. And you could be like, no, no, I'm not. I feel good. I'm James Brown. I feel great. Lonely. And it's like, no, we're telling you that you feel lonely, and it's like you actually don't. You actually are enjoying the peace. Like men really can't feel lonely because even if it's just sustaining themselves and stuff like that, we're like the truly independent class. Even when women sustain themselves and are independent, they still want the company of men or girlfriends or whatever. You know, you know, it's women are community minded, so a lot of times they want to be around their girlfriends and stuff like that. Even if they're independent, men, we can even have our boys or we can even just be by ourselves. Like we don't give a damn, you know. Of course you got family oriented and community minded men, don't get me wrong, but men, we're okay by ourselves for long periods of time. It don't even cross our mind that sometimes we'll sit in a room for hours and not one word has been said, you know. Oh, you said you meant taking up Pearl's employee position. Pearl employs a lot of people. That part gets looked over. She do pay a lot of people, so hey, but people say those are her minions, so
Miss Kelsey
CJ,
almost married that woman.
Yeah, she fumbled. Like she could have. That's what I mean. And that's the, like, because there are white guys that have that like, not, I don't want to say fetish, but like that's their thing,
Yeah.
But again, it's just the obesity. Like that's the big.
here's here's one of the things with black women that they don't understand. A man will smash a black woman, but like a man has to think about his kids. Okay, like you want to have a black wife and a half black child, right? See, if a black guy marries a white woman, he's black and his kids are still black. But you're a white guy and you have a black wife, your kid is black,
what's going on, King Pix?
but you're white. Like
Yeah, and
a
it's
lot of
more.
black guys are like, it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's more important to dads that the kids look like them, I think, than like the moms. I think the dads care more about that. So
Yeah,
it's
not that big. Sorry.
what?
Nothing, I'm
That's
sorry.
men, period, though. Like men of all races, white guys want their kids to look like them. Asian guys want their kids to look like them. So it's not just a white guy with a black woman thing. It's just men, period. Go ahead, TJ. I'm sorry.
So to both of your points, yes, most men want their kids to look like them. Most men want to date the women that's related to them or attached to them.
No, that wasn't a raccoon move. I don't think that was a raccoon move that CJ left Fatty's panel to go to Pearl's channel. They wasn't letting nobody talk. They wasn't letting Pearl talk. And they wasn't letting Melanin talk. Look how if y'all watch the show, look how long it took for them to let Melanin talk. They kind of wasn't letting the people talk. CJ wanted to say something, Athena wanted to say something. There wasn't really no pushback. They're just, oh, Pearl's just racist, get her out of here. It was gonna turn into race anyway. Like, I don't know, like that's like inviting Nick Fuentes to your fucking channel and thinking he not gonna throw any race pundits out there, or thinking y'all gonna have a conversation, and there ain't no big pink elephant in the fucking room. Good luck. Yeah, he kept interrupting, and then like he had his cape on a little bit, man. And I like Fatty. And I don't think Fatty and Ilkan are bad brothers, but they did have their cape on. And they did let the girls kind of get their digs in and stuff like that. But he hyped Pearl up. He was like, "Okay, Pearl hit you in the head, and I will allow you to hit her back." So he hyped up Pearl to say something back. Pearl and first of all, they were undermining Fatty. If y'all picked up on it, Tyranny and the other girl, they were undermining Fatty. They weren't respecting Fatty. They wasn't respecting Fatty. They were having their own conversation. The two women. It was really the two females talking. So and I picked up on that also. You know. Yeah, it is getting pushed underwater again. That's true. Yeah, that's what I was saying to Coffee. Shout outs to Coffee. That's what I was telling Coffee. I was like, by proxy, inadvertently, like by proxy, Fatty and Ilcam was basically defending feminism. And a lot of guys, they defend feminism. They get that battery get pushed in their back, and they don't understand that. That is so quick that battery. Jazz is a whole feminist, but when it comes down to it, the patriarchy will defend feminism. And that's the part that people don't understand. The patriarchy creates feminism. You understand what I'm saying? The girls that got the big strong dad that they know that's gonna protect them can afford to talk shit, and that's literally the patriarchy. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, nigga, if your dad is the damn Ox King, that's a Dragon Ball Z joke, by the way. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. It already passed. Just let it happen. Um, niggas really ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Like, damn, dad, big as hell. So the patriarchy, that's a part of the patriarchy. Feminism, the patriarchy, whether we like it or not. You know, and that's why I said you need to see actual black women chop it up with feminists, like actual feminists or women that are anti-feminist, and you gonna see how goofy what the sisters are running on black men is. You gonna see how goofy that shit is. The only people that believe in feminism, that believe black women are feminists, are black men. And that's the craziest shit ever. If you really pay attention to what I'm saying and think about what I'm saying, the only people that are convinced that black women are feminists are black men.
Them, they're raised. But most men still like
They turn all of that shit off when they get around white men.
beauty. So, like to Pearl's point, if these women weren't so obese and overweight, they would still have a better chance to get with white men. But they don't want to lose the weight. They don't want to. They don't want to follow any kind of. They don't want to do anything to get the man that they want.
And a lot of black women, there's like, again, there's going to be a market of white guys that are looking for. If you want to go for the white guys, all you got to do is be thin. That's like half the battle. Because there are white guys that every if you have 10 people from every race, there's going to be.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, shout outs to King Picks, right? But yeah, no, party. That's what I'm saying. That like the patriarchy is gonna defend its daughters. The patriarchy is 100% going to defend its daughters. Remember, the original simp is the father. Oh man, y'all hit the like button and support the show. I'm not even gonna get into that. The original simp is the father. A lot of these women, if they really had fathers like that in their life, they would even stop simps from being them. A lot of these women wouldn't have simps. There would be no need for simps and orbiters and stuff like that, because she'd be like, listen, I don't need you doing all of that. I got a father already. The fact that there's a lot of goofy fathers and really no fathers around, no real male figure around, makes women want makes women feel like they need, and will take a disgusting number of simps around them. Because remember, even fathers chase simps away. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna get into that. I'm not even gonna get into that. That's some game right there. Congratulations. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, remember, fathers chase simps away too now. Keep that in mind. A lot of girls that got fathers in their life, they don't really have no need. They don't have no use for orbiters and simps. But let's go.
One that has like a thing for either Asian, black, whatever it is. And I'm like, you just got to find them and be thin, but they just can't.
I would argue that it's never been easier for a black woman to be attractive. All you have to do is have a single digit dress size, right? And take that disgusting blonde weave off your head. And you're
Shout outs to Party. They did.
good to go. Oh, and no tattoos and no septum piercing. And you're
They
in
don't
the
even
top.
mind the tattoos. They don't even mind the tattoos like that.
No, that's the men are forgiving the tattoos now.
They don't mind tattoos. Most men don't mind tattoos like that. They don't want them all over the place. Couple tattoos, maybe.
I was at my dentist's office the other day, and this really pretty light-skinned girl was a dental assistant, and she had a big, the treble, the music treble on the side of her neck.
It's a treble clef. It's a treble clef. Shout outs to Party. Thank you, bro, for supporting the show. As always, bro, much appreciated. Party said, thanks, King Picks. I don't know what emoji I would want people to put in the chat for you. Man, Party, you done said this when everybody gone. They don't think I'm live again. They done moved on to the next show. Come back, y'all. We need to congratulate Party. Spam the chat with NPCs, yo. But nah, shout outs to Party. Listen, Party, I'm gonna say this though, and I don't think it's gonna affect you, but it is gonna make you a little bit softer. You know what I'm saying? Having a daughter, it is gonna make you a tad bit softer. You know, because you want to protect her. What's going on, chaos? There we go. Sound like three women talking about boys. Oh man. You wanna give her the world. Shout outs to Shannon B. Shout outs to Chaos. You want to give your children the world, and people gonna try to shame you with that. Do you want your daughter to date a man like you? Then change. It's like, actually, bitch, I do. I'm a leader. I'm wise, and I'm good looking on the eyes. so, don't let women shame you. Don't let women shame you, Party. Shout outs to Party, because a lot of guys, what they do as soon as they have daughters, they kind of soften up. There's a caveat with certain daughter dads, and there's a caveat with certain boy moms. Shout outs to Party dropping the huge 20 on the Cash App, and $4.85 was donated to the less fortunate. Shout outs to Party dropping the huge 20 on the PayPal. Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man. You said sound like three women talking about boys. SMH. Oh man. Listen. Pearl is taking the torch from Andrew and Coach Greg Adams and started Pearl War 4 in the space. Pearl War 4, all right? Let's go.
Oh. I was like, bro, come on. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, and I just couldn't believe the one girl called you that.
Oh my goodness! You called me a coon, Pearl.
And they like hand wave it. They're like, "Oh, just don't interrupt." And I say, "Black women have herpes," and they're like, "Bro, why are you being antagonistic?" I'm like, "This girl called her a coon."
So they're gonna shame us to be on their side for sure. That's one of their tactics. They shame us to be on their side.
Shame, insults, guilt, and the need to be right.
Correct. So that was one of her shaming tactics, but I don't fall for that. I'm too good at this. Feel me, Pearly? And we at 255 just to update y'all. Feel me? So appreciate y'all.
Yeah, keep going over to his channel and subscribing, you guys. Let's try to get him up to 300.
Yeah.
I'm putting the channel in the chat. Please go there and subscribe, please.
And we appreciate.
Oh yeah, Ilkon's in the chat. If you want to bring him up,
yeah, I
send
can.
it to him on Instagram.
I'll send it.
She will send you the link on IG. Guys, make sure to like the channel if you like the video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Hit that super chat button. All super chats go towards the divorce documentary. So hit that super chat button. We really appreciate it. And go over to CJ's channel and subscribe. Let's get him over to 300.
Was that his real page?
Okay, yeah, that's real. That's really okay.
Okay. I was like, sometimes people pretend to be people, so I was like, let me just make sure.
Yeah, that's okay. But yeah, follow me. Turn on the AC now. But so yeah, you were right about that. Melanin agreed with you too. She wasn't offended. Melanin is a really smart girl over there.
Yeah, I tried to send her a link too. I would have sent the other girl a link, but I just need
the other girl.
The crazy.
Athena?
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh, Jazz? No.
Actually, I was thinking about the Doug MPA said no, but I was like, here I could mute her, so it wouldn't be too bad.
Jazz or Tyranny?
I would have had them both on as long as I can mute them.
Oh.
Because as long as it wouldn't be so bad if they didn't have like the white knighting, like, you know, because that's the problem. Like when they crash out, if I could just mute you, then it's like calm down and then you can come back on.
So
it's like
the biggest problem. So Tyranny is not as bad as Jazz, because Jazz always says, can I finish? Can I finish?
Oh my goodness!
But she doesn't let people finish. Andy
Oh
Wilson said it the best
when
he was on the panel. He's like, look, conversations don't go like that in real life. You don't see real people talking and someone says, can I finish? Can I finish?
Well, y'all gotta understand, a lot of those sisters dominate black men in real life on a daily basis. You know, I mean, y'all gotta understand, by the time y'all really trying to have these serious conversation with a lot of sisters, they're pros. They're pros. They've been doing this since the teenage years. Like, they're pros, you know, so.
It's like a power thing. But that's not how real conversation works. It is insane.
And the worst part is, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead, I'm done.
She's putting somebody through that misery. She's in a relationship.
Oh no, come on.
Yep.
Is in hell. That has to.
One thing I will say, because there's so much women in the black community that is split. You'll know a bunch of crazy sisters that you like, bruh, I ain't finna put up with it. But there's a guy that's putting up with it. And damn near will fight you over it. Stupidly. And then you got a bunch of sisters that's like, you like, man, I ain't gonna put up with it. And she can't find someone to put up with it. You know, a lot of those women, they stay in relationships, believe it or not. You know, you said they cuck thugs, you're a nobody. Exactly. And that's what I'm saying, party. Like they go after guys that would perceive them as smart. Oh yeah, my girl's smart. She know about feminism. Be
a nightmare.
Muhammad Ali quote: "I want my children to look like me. I want my wife to look like me. It's a natural thing for to want their children to look like them. There's nothing wrong with that." Yeah, and that was my thing, because she just kept saying that, like, that black women were going to take the white men. I'm like, statistically, there's no way.
Yeah,
we got our issues, but white men do a lot of. My brother in school, I remember I showed him a friend of mine to date, and she was athletic. She was on the volleyball team, and he said she was too fat. And I would say she was like 24 or 5% body fat. I don't know if you guys know what that looks like, but like,
that's pretty
like I don't know, maybe like 10 pounds above like skinny. But And that's just kind of, especially like if you get to high earning white guys, they don't do that.
No, liberal women and feminist women go after misogynists. Don't let them lie to you. That's why she was offended. The first person they go after is misogynists. All right? They make it seem like misogynist men are the scum of the planet. So why are these misogynist men getting a whole bunch of women to date them? They go after the misogynist men. You know what I used to do to get a bunch of women? I'm about to give y'all some game. Shout outs to Party for supporting the show. Every time y'all support the show, I give y'all a game. Listen, you know what I used to do on the dating sites? I use chick crack sometimes. And what is chick crack? Talk about zodiac signs, talk about things that women are into. Zodiac signs, um the moon and the stars and meditation and all, like you talk about, you talk about all that stuff. I used to put at on my like Tinder profile or whatever profile for, OK Cupid or something like that. I used to put on the profile, oh, if you're a Pisces or Scorpio or a blah blah blah, don't message me, it never works, wink wink, nudge nudge. And then you know what I do? I go around on Tinder or whatever website that I'm on, and I inbox Scorpios and Pisces and all kinds of different women. And guess what? They go on my page, and I know they're gonna see that message, and they're gonna be like, we probably have a good conversation or whatever, or even if we having a conversation and it's good, they're gonna eventually go on your page and see that message. And then they're gonna be like, oh, or they're gonna be like, oh, but you don't like Scorpios, or oh, you don't, or they're gonna be like, oh, I would go out on a date with you, but I'm a Scorpio. You don't like us, or I'm a Scorpio. Why you said don't message us, or blah blah blah, or whatever. Either way, they're gonna, what you want them to do is you want them to say it first. Okay. Now, little do people know, when they go on your page and they show interest in you and they see that detail there, hey, if you're a Capricorn, don't message me. It never works. Or you be like, oh man, I'm tired of you, y'all. I'm tired of y'all. Y'all be doing this and y'all be doing that. Y'all are crazy. Don't message me. It never works. Laugh out loud. Like in a joking, tongue-in-cheek tone. Guess what you're gonna start having? Those particular type of women working for your validation right there in the inbox. Yeah, because sometimes you get the real them in the inbox. You get the real them in the inbox. Nobody else is there to watch, to hear y'all conversation or see y'all conversation or whatever and stuff like that. They go after people. People go after things that people tell you not to go after. Hey, don't date that girl. Why? Now the first thing I'm gonna do is date that girl. The shit is a direct command, basically. What is it about that girl? Why are you telling me not to date that girl? Is there something that you hiding from me? You just don't want me to date that girl. Well, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go date that girl. Some people work. It's like kids.
Hello. How you doing,
Hello.
Pearly?
I'm good. How's it going?
I'm trying to stay black and die. So let me make a proper introduction first, okay? Of just the timelines of things that's happened before you ever even got on the panel. You were probably one of the most supported people by the black men. I won't say black women. I know black women try to tear you apart. I cannot deny that at all because of information you do share. But white women try to tear you apart. Women in general try to tear you apart. You've been somebody a lot of people have been supported before you even came on a panel. When you came on Anton Daniels' panel maybe 2-3 years ago, black women would say, oh, Pearly racist. Men came out to your defense big time. I'm one of the men that came out to your defense. I say, hey, Pearly is not racist. I don't support that. Y'all are mad because she's saying factual information. The problem is And I will stand corrected as well too. I told you we do the Black Fatigue show, but on the next one, because that was already done. But I probably didn't tell you beforehand. I apologize for that. But one thing I'll never, that you know that men won't do or women won't do, is when the conversation just goes to race, when we're having a conversation about women in general, that's something that threw the whole panel left. That person who came on my panel was talking too much. I agree with you, right? We need to control that. And we need to moderate a little bit better. I don't agree with that. But if I sat on a Muslim man and woman's table, Jewish man and woman's table, Asian man and woman's table, they're not going to let no other race of man or woman come on that table and just blatantly go there disrespectfully. I didn't even say if you're wrong or not. It's the fact that, especially when you're laughing, it's one thing if I say, hey, Pearl, if I want to speak about injustice, I go, hey, Pearl, there's a lot of injustice that's happened in law enforcement. And I know I could say something like white men are trafficking kids, laughing. And why you date white men? If I'm saying it,
No, but she wasn't laughing like that. She was laughing at the stupidity of the sisters on the panel going dumb and y'all sitting up there white knighting. That's what she was laughing at. She was actually just waiting for y'all to get it together. She was actually trying to make a point, and y'all got stumped on the first step. It was basically trying to explain the damn stairwell to people that was only committed to you know, it was trying to explain the damn stairwell to somebody, to people that can't even get over the first step. Like, y'all got to be able to connect the dots. You know, why would she bring up the STD stats after a black woman clearly said that we can take your men? And she was like, no, you can't. Y'all have the highest STD rates. Like why is that effect? Y'all are in a damn you know what I'm saying, in a damn red pill space. So you gotta kinda have to have tough skin when it comes to these conversations. D Chicago, we're not white knighting, bro. I get it. I get it. You have a girlfriend and niggas really change when they have a girlfriend, bro. Y'all, I get it, bro. We get it. All right. God damn. I get it. All right. Y'all gotta chill. Y'all be watching the show with y'all girlfriend, and she's like, "Baby, say something. Say what I want to say." I got you. Right. Black people can't connect dots. Yeah, black people can't connect dots. You know, it's like, come on now, land the plane. You know, land the plane, Wilbur. You know,
bad faith, it can come off as if I'm blatantly just trying to disrespect white men. But if I'm having a conversation with you going back and forth and I'm saying, hey, Pearl, I understand white men can be a certain way, but you know, in this country, millions of women and children are trafficked. It's the intent of going straight there. When we had that black fatigue conversation about
right, yeah. But the challenge is, you're telling me we're talking about black fatigue. So I'm coming in thinking that this is the topic. And if you look back to our messages, yes, you did.
Did I tell you we're not talking about that today? On the next one, did I not tell you that?
No.
On Instagram,
no, you said the next topic is black fatigue.
No, I said that. Hold on, watch. Let me show you. Maybe we had a misunderstanding.
You could go through it, but
you said I thought we were talking, and it could be a cultural barrier. I said I thought we were talking about black fatigue. I said that's next one. This was already planned. Next one is black fatigue. So you might have thought that was the next topic.
Right, but I'm saying the show. Why would I think it's out of bounds to bring up race issues when one of the topics is black fatigue?
Because we were
why would that be out of bounds?
Because we didn't even get to that topic yet. So
Yeah,
if I
but
just
it was-
started saying,
it
if I just said, well, you know, white men known for supposedly being pedos or dealing with.
She didn't just arbitrarily throw that out there. She threw that out there after she was insulted and told, after Tyranny disregarded the question that Fatty asked her and threw it out there and said that we're taking your men. That's when she said. That's when she said. That's when she threw out. Oh, y'all have, like, come on now. That's when she arbitrarily threw. I mean, not arbitrarily, but that's when she just threw it out there. She's like, how can y'all go after how can y'all go after white men, and you know what I'm saying, and y'all have a bunch of STDs. That's basically what she said. And the girls couldn't combat it and they got mad. That's literally just what happened, man. Like we don't gotta just say, oh, you just came onto my panel and just start talking about STDs. Like, come on now.
Older women or trafficking, all those
I
kind
wouldn't
of
get
things.
offended because I'm an adult, and that's what I can't stand. I cannot stand when I'm dealing with people that get offended over anything. Why have a debate show? Why host things if you're going to get offended over facts, data, and statistics? You know, I'm not coming in. You had a panelist literally call one of your other panelists a coon, and it was a slap on the wrist. But I talk about facts, data, and statistics, and I'm the bad guy. Like that. That is blatantly disrespectful. You didn't kick her off.
No. So when Big Rick said he believes that people be using the facts and statistics, and you don't back that up, you went along with them. Yep, we can't use that. You literally, when he said that,
it's a nuanced point. I've talked about it on the channel. Your first instance has got to be real life, right? You can't. You're going to be easily manipulated if anyone could put a study in your face and say this. But I could give you, when we're talking about black crime, I could give you real life examples. I could give you examples in the media, and I could give you facts, data, and statistics. If you don't have all three, I understand having a different.
Okay, so if you're talking about tough skin, why'd you want to kick people off when we brought them to make the show for you? We're bringing people.
Well,
let me. I'm gonna ask you
because
we set up a panel. Hold on, we set up a panel for you, like literally, so we can build with you. You're gonna kick the person who's literally the contrarian or going against what you're saying. You're saying have a tough skin. But you want to kick the person off.
It's like, well, do you want an entertaining show, or do you want it to be boring? And I'm not trying to be rude, but I got to 2 million subscribers. I had debates 6 days a week. When you have someone that's not that entertaining over talking everybody, it's going to ruin the show.
That person person brought right now. Before you got on there, we had 500 people watching. Like, we are small. We have 5,000 subscribers on my channel. He has 2. When we get to 40, 100,000, 100 subscribers, our channel is going to be completely different. Well, but that guy, let me finish. That guy is opposite of what your message is, and it'd be a perfect setup for you two to talk and you to make content off of it and clip it. You want to kick the person off that's going to make a great show for you. But instead of doing that, you went to race.
Are you trying to tell Pearl about YouTube? You need to stop.
I know they always do. Like,
Pearl's a genius, so you need to stop trying to tell Pearl about YouTube.
Let him have a conversation.
It's just the challenge. And I'm not trying to be rude, but you have 5,000 subscribers.
Let me ask him, he butted in. Hey, sir, if you want to have a conversation where there's not an echo chamber, which Pearl asked us not to have a echo chamber. We hate echo chambers too. Why would you kick off the person who's going against what you're saying so we have an actual conversation?
Because you can't have a conversation when someone's monologuing for 10 minutes. You can't do it. And so, no, I didn't even think this guy was disrespectful, but I'm like, we're never going to get to the point. He doesn't land planes. Like in a good debate, you got to go back and forth. Like I just have a good knack for this. I did 6 shows with 10 people on it, 6 days a week for a year, and 2 years at 4 days a week. There's nobody that's done more panels than me. No, and I just said, like, if I'm giving you 3 hours of my time, which I don't have to give you, and I'm giving you advice on how to do it, I would just take it if I.
Hold on.
If you got a homie with a girlfriend, you just make his life easier.
Yeah, that's all you do. And I did.
All right, hold on. Because this gets into some crazy shit. So, yeah, we went over the whole thing on the last show. But look, let's get into one last segment. I appreciate you guys. Please hit the like button, support the show. Shout outs to Party. Let's get into this.
Well, they want him gone.
I think Charlie was not allowed to be anything but a Christian Zionist, and he was changing in the last few weeks. Everything began ratcheting up after Tucker Carlson hit the stage.
That pissed him off.
It was like a full court press effort to lie about everything. I do not like the way Turning Point is behaving. I've made that clear, and nobody is going to emotionally manipulate me and tell me to attack.
She can't do nothing because of the wife.
Turning Point would be to attack his legacy. Charlie told me years ago he was having a ton of visions and was telling me Turning Point was going to be the death of him. He knew he was going to die young, and strangely knew that I was going to be the only person to defend him.
Candace, thank you for having me here.
I'm excited, and thank you for making it work on short notice.
Of course. These are crazy times, so I totally, we got to be careful about where we're at, right?
Right.
So it's been a while since we last spoke. Last time you were on, I remember we did After Hours where you were saving a few women's lives, and I did want to tell you this on camera. One of the girls that you spoke to actually quit OnlyFans on that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
It was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people think that, I guess, those conversations are not worth it or the show is all theater. But
shout outs to Chris G dropping a huge $2 on the Cash App. Thank you, bro. Shout outs to Party. You dig? Hold on. Now my equipment acting crazy, y'all. Jesus Christ. I can't win for shit, y'all. God damn.
More. Wendy?
Thanks, Chuck. We're standing here in front of the Olympic Liquor Store in Queens where scores of African Americans have been lined up for hours. We spoke to a few of them earlier. Ladies, may we get a word?
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
Shout outs to everybody. Jesus Christ. Oh man. The technical difficulties is technical difficult today, man. Yeah, can you land the plane right? Man, I wonder what David Carroll would have said, man. You got me missing David Carroll, Party. What was I about to say? No, I don't think Candace Owens was a side piece for Charlie Kirk. I don't think she was, man. Candace Owens is cool. She's just missing her friend. And she in the spotlight, so everything got to be symbolic. Some of y'all didn't catch when I called it the Tupac effect. You gonna be when you're a martyr or you go really quickly to die young and leave a beautiful corpse, man. You're gonna be everything, even when you're not. People just not gonna try to speak bad about you, or when people are speaking bad about you, it's your friend's job to try to counteract it. Once what were minor conversations with friends turn major now when you look back on it. And then especially in the manner that Charlie went. And it's like, there's times where you'll contemplate like, damn, should I quit doing what I'm doing? It's like, well, damn, you already too far into it now. You might as well keep going. Like, imagine being on. Have y'all ever just been on stage and just look at everything that's going on? It's like, damn, and not, bad enough a bottle, a tomato, some rusty thong or something can get thrown at you and shit like that. Bro, like a bullet flying in your neck is crazy. And how demonic and barbaric was Americans to even make fun of something like that. Jackasses on the internet to make fun of something like that. How barbaric is that? taking a sniper round. Like I'm like the shit that he got hit with some shit that'll take down a deer. Like imagine that. Imagine getting hit with some shit that'll take down a fucking moose, a fucking caribou. This nigga got hit with some shit they go after bisons with and shit. Like bro popped into heaven like I know you lying. What happened? I know his soul is not at rest. He probably have to watch his own damn body drop. Death came so quick his soul was confused.
For me, I want to sit across from these young women because anybody's life could have ended that way. You know what I mean? Like I could have ended up being one of these OnlyFans girls if there weren't so many like
I think they would have been beefing at some point, Carol and KS, but I think they would have been, cool.
life interventions, because it's just being sold to women so much that this is the easy way out. You know what I mean? So
yeah, but I wanted to make sure I told you that, on camera, that she literally quit like not.
D Chicago, what are you talking about, bro? Who is obsessed with white people and what they think about? Yeah, we all know it. Never mind. You know what?
Too long after you did that show, so that's great, saving lives.
That makes me happy.
So kind of with that, I saw that you had did a debate on Jubilee with a bunch of feminists. Obviously, we're in a modern day age. Things have changed quite a bit. We've both been pretty critical of feminism, but I think with what you're doing, you're able to really reach a demographic of women that just guys like me and Andrew Tate and others just aren't going to reach because, we're abrasive in the way that we get it. So they might want, another female's perspective on, the detriments of feminism and everything else like that. So kind of given how society is now, how do you see feminism today with young women? And then what do you predict is going to happen in the next 5-10 years? Are we getting better? Is it getting worse? What are your thoughts in general on that?
So I was actually very interested in Tate culture, I guess I'm going to call it. So I'm going to put you in that orbit of Tate culture, all of these male influencers that were coming out and calling girls.
Whoa. You just watched clips. Like, I don't know if you tuned into the show, but Charlie Kirk didn't give a damn about black people. He wasn't, like, interested in hating on black people, man. Like, these are old talking points. All of these talking points got debunked. Charlie Kirk employed black people, paid black people, got black people started, and looked out for a bunch of people. He wasn't like a fucking, oh, I just hate black people. Like a lot of all of that. You just watched a bunch of clips and jump to conclusions, man. Just like all the other black people. All right. Charlie Kirk didn't care enough about black people to hate on them, bro. Y'all gotta stop with the bullshit, man. This shit is ridiculous. Let's go.
BITCHs and hoes and all this stuff, and people sat back and were like, oh my god, this is horrible, whatever. But I'm like, wait a second, whatever you think about him, whatever you think about Tristan, whatever you think about Myron,
that's enough internet for you today, man. God damn.
This culture got very big very quickly, and there's got to be something there, right? There has to be. So that was the reason why I flew out to meet Andrew Tate. There was all these conspiracies that I knew him before and all. I met Andrew a total of 2 times before I did his show. My husband hung out with him maybe 3 times in his life before him and I met. He was actually friends with PJW. And that's how I met Andrew.
Gotcha.
Like, so my husband was actually friends with PJW. And I just wanted to know what it was, because I'm never a person that will dismiss something on its face and call it a name. Like, there has to be some substance here. And what was actually happening was you got Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate and you got Myron Gaines because you perpetuated a culture of Lena Dunhams, right? So you're acting like men just got tired of it. And finally, men looked around and somebody stood up and said, it's actually okay to be a man and you don't have to listen to any of these women. Now, you may not have liked how they said it. You may
Now I wonder what Candace is doing because she's like doing like the radical tour. What do I mean by that? Well, Nick Fuentes comes off as radical, damn near is radical. Candace Owens, kicking it with them. Candace Owens, smart as a whistle, kicking it with them. Myron Gaines definitely went on a bunch of, what would be racist tyrants. Candace Owens kicking it with them. So it's interesting.
Not have liked that they were doing this on top of Lamborghinis, but the reality is that what sat beneath that was a horribly toxic culture where women were dictating the terms to men, and every time a man did something that actually felt natural to them, you called it toxic masculinity, and books were written, and Lena Dunham is writing articles, and there's a show about this, and Lena Dunham's naked on Instagram. I wrote a whole chapter about
women are doing to men what they think men did to them.
Lena Dunham in my book, and she's naked on Instagram, and she's lecturing you if you don't want to see her, overweight, naked, and tatted up. So you can't blame the culture, take culture, until you are ready to address where this actually came from, which was women constantly bashing men over the head and telling them that masculinity, full stop, was wrong.
Given the problems that we have, obviously, whether it's me or Tate or other people, will kind of come in and say, hey, this is what you need to do as a guy. This is how the modern day marketplace is now when it comes to dating. What's your approach to kind of combating this problem from a female perspective?
First, you have to understand the origin of feminism, right? You have to understand that this was not a culture and an ideology that came because they wanted women to have equal rights with men, okay? This was a CIA-sponsored PSYOP. Gloria Steinem was sponsored by the CIA, okay? These protests were sponsored by men in government. A lot of them homosexual, actually. And the reason for that was simply because they wanted to tax, it was actually twofold, I would say. They wanted to tax household income both ways. And also they wanted
They never said that.
women to, instead of focusing on their kids, which comes natural to women, right, to be the quote unquote, like I say, CEO of the household, they wanted to remove that and to have the children given to the government for 6 hours a day. Beyond 6 hours a day, 6 hours a day, plus whatever sports activities, which gives.
Well, they're saying that now. They're actually going in on the teachers are going crazy at these schools because they're like, this ain't even schooling. These kids can't write. They can't read. They want to be on their phones all day. And parents are using schools as daycare. Parents are using schools as daycare. Parents are using schools as daycare.
The government full control over the minds of the children. This came straight from the Pale of Settlement. After they assassinated the Tsar, you had these Jewish women like Emma Goldman, who came over to America. Emma Goldman was the mentor to what's her face from Planned Parenthood. I'm blanking on her name for a moment. I'm going to say Margaret Sanger. That was her mentor. Mm-hmm. And so this was, in fact, a very radical communist movement that came to America and sought to overthrow families, family institutions, strong men, feminine women, stands in the way of government and absolute control.
In your book, Make 'Em a Sandwich, what are some of the things that you tell the women? Because I'm assuming it's a book that's going to be centered around how women can kind of get in the marketplace, find a long-term partner, get married. What are some of the strategies that you tell women to implement to find a partner? You don't have to give it all away.
Yeah,
maybe
no,
one
it's
or two.
fine. I don't even try in my book to sell them a strategy or a technique. I just tell the truth. So here's the history of feminism. Here's what we were told in school. Here's actually how it went down, right? Knowledge is power. I give them the actual statistics of the fact that what was sold to you was you were going to be just like a man and you were going to be happier. Women.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. She was damn near, she grifted. I like Candace Owens. I like what she's talking about. She did kind of grift. Not going to lie. She straight up grifted. But, she's a good role model for young women. You know, if I had a daughter, I'd yeah, listen to little Candace Owens. You know, I would tell my daughter to. I would give my, even on her birthday, I would gift her a Candace Owens book. I would gift her a Candace Owens book way before I gift her a Michelle Obama book. Oh, you out your damn mind. You know, I will gift her a Candace Owens book before I gift her a Michelle Obama book. You said, can you blame her? No, you really can't. I mean, I get it. I'm a, yeah. Listen. This is the thing, party. Black people raised Democratic. It's kind of a rite of passage, right? A metamorphosis that black people gotta outgrow, and it's like a piece of maturity. A lot of black people, when they kind of outgrow that party, and depending on where they came from, there's gonna be black people that will never outgrow the Democratic Party, and no matter what you say, you're wrong. You know, no matter what you say, you're wrong in their eyes. That's just the reality of it. You know, you know, you know, super sharp. So some people just never gonna outgrow it in this lifetime. But it was crazy that she was well into her. I mean, she was, you know, Candace is super smart, so it's like she was well into what the hell she was talking about before she grifted. You know, people do grift. I can more so respect the people that say, hey, I was presented with new information, and I did my research on something, and I took up a different mantle. But for a lot of black people, um a certain level of education is going to require them to you know to outgrow the Democratic Party. That's just a given. you know a certain amount of them are going to have to outgrow the Democratic Party. You go look at a lot of these ball players, they Democrats like crazy until they get some money. you know they get some money, they go straight Republican. You said, if you're in my age cohort, I know your first time voting was the Obama years, and I know your mama woke your ass up that morning and told you who to vote for. It's okay. Yeah, that part too. Remember that woman was beating her kid on the news because he voted for somebody else, whacking him upside the head and shit. And then you saw it again with Trump. That shit was crazy. And damn near, I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, a lot of black people's story, if you're a millennial, a lot of black people's story is identical. A lot of black people's story is identical. If you're a millennial, like uh just with the damn recessions and stuff that we've been going through, man, listen. And shout outs to War Master. I mean, he talked about the rhinos that, Republican in name only. So you got a lot of people out here that you think are Republicans, but they're really Democrats. So, uh, even people say Trump is a Democrat. You know, he might be the biggest rhino of them all in some cases. Yeah. Obama fucked over the black community royally.
They're actually more miserable than they've ever been. If you go back and you ask most women about their grandmothers, they remember grandma being happy, right? So what they actually sold to you, now you've achieved.
Black people turned on Diddy too. A lot of people forget vote or die.
This equality, quote unquote equality, and women have never been more miserable, and women are popping more pills than they were popping and finding it harder to find a partner and wondering why. Well, it's because you attack.
And you got a lot of people getting diagnosed. I think I'm not diagnosed with ADHD. And autism and all that other stuff. People getting diagnosed, man.
Act natural masculinity. You told men that they shouldn't be allowed to lead. Women have to lead. And actually, you didn't want that, right? You were convinced psychologically in a classroom, as I was back when I wanted to be a feminist, or I thought feminism was cool. And you should know that. And I think that's how you change things without trying to say, here's a strategy and here's how we're going to move forward. Let people know true knowledge, let people know true history. And I think the rest of the stuff happens naturally, or I hope.
For you on your journey, when did you figure out that feminism was a lie? Like, was there a certain event that triggered it that you were like, holy crap, this is BS?
I actually tell the story in this book. I think I do, actually. I think it's in this book, or it's in my last book, actually. It's in Blackout, of this teacher that I had, and I was required to take.
And the funny part is that they push feminism on the sisters harder in college. They push feminism on the sisters harder in college than they do on white women.
Feminism 101. It was called Women's Studies. Maybe it was Women's Studies 201 at the University of Rhode Island. And at that time, I was like, yeah, I'm a feminist, of course. Who doesn't want equality as they sold it?
Yeah.
We get into this classroom, and this teacher, I realized very quickly, was not actually motivated by wanting equality. I was in a classroom where she was trying to convince me that every problem that we had in society was due to men. This was a literal class that was designed to basically teach women to hate men.
Yeah.
Like, no matter, all you had to do to get an A was she would introduce any problem. She could have lost her keys that morning and been like, why did this happen?
Patriarchy.
Well, you know what? Who designed cars? You know who designed cars? Do you know who designed the whole concept of a car key, and who designed the couch that you lost it in this morning? It was men. It became to a point where for me, it was like laughable.
Yeah.
But there was this one particular class where it clicked for me, because when I was in college, I had an eating disorder. So I was sitting in her class, and I was anorexic, and she gets into this topic of anorexia and eating disorders, and she gave us some statistic about the percentage of women that have eating disorders, and I'm making this up now, but it was something like 80%.
Now, this is back in the day where white women would be anorexic. They would literally be bulimic. They'll literally they'll go into the bathroom and they'll put their hand in their mouth and start throwing up and stuff like that. And this is stuff that they had to do to stay relevant to stay relevant in the fashion industry.
Of people who have eating disorders are women. And she asked the class, why is that? And we were supposed to say,
what's going on, Malcolm? Good to see you, man. Malcolm said no homo. Man, I be putting out the game, man. I go extra hard, Malcolm. I put in that work, man. You know, definitely all I ask is hit the like button, support the show. I got you, bro. Whoo-wee. Hold on, guys. Party said that's why they go so. Hold on, you got some more. Look, I went to the studio just a minute ago. You got more. Okay, give me 1 second. Party said that's why they go so hard being black women. They got a new weapon and is eager to use it. The Glacier Girl was birthed in it. This is the thing, right? This is the thing. Black women and they're the biggest gangbangers ever, like for feminism. Like, black women have explored levels of feminism that white women were not interested in exploring. You know, it's like an open book test for other white women because they get to see how deep feminism goes without them necessarily have to do it, you know? And when white women want to back up from feminism and stuff because it gets to a point where it gets too radical and they start losing their jobs or people don't want to hire them or give them raises and stuff like that or scared of them, then they start calling themselves womanists. They start calling themselves womanists. Okay? Now, the funny thing is that it was really to poison black people. But the funny thing is that now you fast forward now and white culture has poured into you know or black culture or either or has poured into each other. It's always been like this, but it's a little bit different, you know. Um they had to you know, party you into music, so you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. They had to stop disco, you know. They had to stop disco. You know, disco was really about the, you know, the races getting together and in peace and stuff like that, you know. What took over after disco, not necessarily, but like, you know, reggae really got really popular, you know. Because it was a little bit different. You know, when Bob Marley say one love and all that other stuff and then the weed and stuff like that. Come on now. Disco. You know, reggae kind of kept the element of it. Even though reggae was its own thing, it was island rock. It kept the element of it because guess what? You could smoke weed and one love and let's just get high, feel all right, eat some food. We're all together in this and blah, blah, blah. Disco was a little bit different with the hippies and the, you know what I'm saying? So they got rid of disco. A lot of other stuff was going on with disco also with the YMCA dudes. Now I'm forgetting. I've been on for a long time, y'all, but now I'm forgetting their name. The village was the village people or whatever. And then hip hop. You know, I saw a white kid beat up his stepdad on 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 uh uh on YouTube, and he was rebelling against his stepdad or whatever. He was like beating up his stepdad. It was like, yeah, nigga, yeah, nigga. You know, I remember at one point, the white boys was taking over hip hop. You had NF, and it was funny because a sister, well, my girlfriend at the time, she put me on to him. I was like, who the hell is this? She's like, you don't know who NF is? I'm like, no. You had Machine Gun Kelly. You had Eminem and shit. And you couldn't tell them white boys not to take over hip hop. They were rapping better than black people. Black people was rapping about the same shit they rapping about now. You know? White boys was taking over hip hop. They had to stop that. You know, the hip hop was gonna get colonized from niggas. So they had to slow that shit down. You know? Shout outs to War Master. Yeah, I'm old as hell. Is it the Village People? That YMCA song stuck in my head now. But yeah, these kids, these hip hop now is having another rock era. You know, like back in the day, you could listen to Limp Bizkit, you could listen to Fort Minor, you could listen to POD, you can Papa Roach, you can listen to all of these different artists that were white rock and hip hop. Even certain elements of I never expect you to say that. War Master, I swear to God, I never expect you to say that. Why'd you throw Eminem in there? I like Eminem. I thought you would like Eminem. I think, or are you an Eminem fan? Because I run into a lot of Eminem fans, right, War Master, and it's like one album kind of did it for them. A lot of people like, oh, Rehab sucked. I like Eminem's album. I like Eminem's album that he did that had the what was the name? Was it Green Day? I forgot the name of that that rock band that had that jet plane on it. But I like that album. That was the last Eminem album I bought. Kamikaze. Um, but no, Eminem's a beast though. I like Eminem. You know? Now, if my brother G was here, he gonna be like, "Nah, Kuda don't like Eminem. I do like Eminem. It's just I ain't gonna lie. When Eminem, certain artists, I'm weird. Certain artists, when they come out and people are on their nuts, I don't listen to them. Like, cause they just keep playing certain songs over and over, and it gets annoying. And then like 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, I'm in the club and I'm either spinning the record or I'm listening to it and I just rediscover an old song all over again. You know. So I'm kind of like that. I'm kind of I don't go with the wave. You know. But if you go look at these kids now from the suburb, they're going to XXX Tentacion concerts. They're going to Trippy Red concerts. They're going to Little Uzi Vert concerts. They're going to all of these different concerts, and they've taken on black culture. They're listening to Lil Wayne. Oh, you said only MGK is trash. Okay, you listen to NF though? Okay, my bad, my bad. I was about to say, I know for a fact. I know you didn't say you didn't like Eminem. Yeah, see, I'm slipping. I'm slipping, y'all. I've been working for a long time. It's about that time. Yeah, I'm blind, bro. But no, white girls like Lil Baby. White girls can date Little Baby, or have dated Little Baby, or have dated Kodak Black. They run through their white girls too. They love their music. If she's not gonna sleep with if then and the white boys love it too. They're not gonna sleep with the actual artist. Well, guess what? They'll sleep with another black guy that went to go see that fucking show. Chief Keef. Chief Keef. Chief Keef. The audience that support Chief Keef, all white. All white. Damn near. White, Latino, uh uh Indian, from the UK. They know all the fucking words to Finito. And yes, they say nigga. Even at the show. You know? Um not Machine Gun Kelly. You got Yellow Wolf, you know. You got Little White, you got Paul Wall. So hey, to think that black culture was spill into what you call it. Actually, I got a video about that. About white people putting things in certain black neighborhoods and then thinking they're not gonna fall for it. Listen, man, you have groups of glacier people that suffer from the same thing, if not worse than black people. It's not just black people going through it. That's why it was just funny when Andrew was talking to Coach Greg Adams and Act Solutions, and it's like, bro, white people put black people in a damn Gordian knot. They're not white people don't even have the answers to get themselves out of the shit they put black people in. But you got to understand war. War. You know, a lot of niggas can banish niggas to the shadow realm. They don't know how to bring a nigga back though. It's called war. Why would they do that, Kuda? Nigga, I don't know. Like what the fuck? Like when you hate people, you do shit. You know, when people are mad or they don't like certain people, they just do shit. You know, like a lot of people be taking the human element out of shit. You know. You said I have 8 or 9 Eminem albums and NF albums. Don't forget Tom McDonald. Who is Tom McDonald? See, let me write that down. I'm gonna do some research. I don't know about NF. NF seems like he's commercial. I don't know too much about him, and I haven't heard that much about him. I like Asher Roth. Um, I forgot that Mac Miller song I like. You know what? I thought Mac Miller reminds me of Pearly Things, like just a rich high kid, cool kid that you can smoke with. You know, Mac Miller didn't grow on me until a little bit later. I thought he was just playing around with hip hop, and Mac Miller actually ended up being he actually really impressed me over the years with his growth. I thought he was just kind of, you know, because certain people, not all one hit wonders are trying to stay in hip hop. You know, sometimes they're a money grab. You know, he said that's why it's funny. D Chicago saying we love white people. We're just the same as white people. Nobody addresses the hidden hand, or maybe it was just the boomers. Black people Black people are weird with racism. Black people are weird with racism. Black people think that white people think about us as much as fucking we think about white people. For some reason, especially in America, white people is black people only primary enemy. Let me tell y'all something, man. The Glacier Man got a lot of shit on his plate. I'm not even gonna hold you. If you when you travel around the world and just see the Glacier Man's influence everywhere, it's like, damn. Like I don't know why niggas that uninformed niggas just think that white people are fixated on him. Nigga, the Glacier Man gotta be racist enough to deal with the China man, the Latina man, the Indian man. Every single race on the planet has gotten a racist visit by the Glacier Man. I assure you, we're one of his greatest enemies. I'll give you that. You know, the shit between white and black is epic, but trust me, like that nigga got bigger fish to fry. Okay? Even the Glacier Man is the Glacier Man's worst enemy. Niggas is fighting Russians and niggas in Europe and shit. Like who do like after a while when you sit back and think about it, like who do niggas think they are, bro? Who do niggas think they are, bro? Like just like to a certain degree, we get it. Okay, we get it, but like nigga, it got you know karma's a motherfucker. Don't get me wrong, you know, but it got to be tough to be the Glacier Man. You got to move a certain type of way and keep your head on the damn swivel. You know, best believe everybody on the Glacier Man's ass too. You know, it is respect, but it's mostly an afterthought. You know, it is respect, but it's mostly an afterthought. A lot of black men can go everywhere and get a little bit of respect, or you know, people know about us through our music and stuff like that, and influence and stuff. Cool, right? It might be good, it might be bad, you know, whatever, right? But wherever the white man goes, that nigga instantly get respect. It's crazy. Like the amount of ass kissing I done seen in Asia. Oh, I'm like, man, I wanna. I'm like, it's just disgusting. Y'all ain't seen cooning yet. Till you get to Latin America and some of these countries and just see how these other people kiss the white man's ass. Especially the old ones. It's not even a little. I mean, the young ones, I get it, but the old ones. I'm talking about the old ones. I seen this white man at the fucking store rip a big bill in front of the cashier trying to pull it out of his wallet. Like I'm talking about he sliced the big bill. It's like, oh, that's not usable. And I knew for a fact if it was me or anybody else, they wouldn't have accepted that bill. But the fact that it was a white man, they accepted the bill. I said, oh no. Oh no. Like think about it. Somebody ripped $100 bill and gave it to you. It's like, no, man, listen, I can't do nothing with that ripped $100 bill. Basically, it's like me giving you something for free. Man, please. Anyway, let's get back into it. Thank you guys for being here. We're in overtime. If you guys are enjoying the show, please support the show. Let's go.
She did say that it was because men control the advertising agency and men want women to be skinny. And it had literally, I'm sitting here having this experience, nothing to do with a man. Like nothing, no man said you're fat, you have to be skinny. That is completely made up. And I'm listening to her try to psychologically convince me that my eating disorder came from a man when it just factually didn't. Most people who suffer with that.
You said wasn't reggae pro-black. I wouldn't necessarily say it's pro-black, but it was slave tunes. Jamaica and all of those countries that's in the Caribbean, those slaves actually fought back. Those slaves actually fought back and was really communicating with each other. Those slaves actually fought back and had successful revolts and everything. And this is why a lot of glacier people don't like black people speaking Spanish. Because first of all, you wasn't supposed to be bilingual and trilingual. That's the whole point of taking you away from Africa. Africans are bilingual and trilingual and quadlingual and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically the Moor shit all over again. You know, Moors learning Spanish. You understand what I'm saying? You wasn't supposed to be educated like that. You wasn't supposed to be speaking Spanish and stuff like that. They really couldn't trust you. You know what I'm saying? Let alone be fluent in Spanish and stuff like that, and also be black and things like that. Those slaves overthrew the British, they overthrew the Spanish, they overthrew the French, and they overthrew a lot of the glacier people that were politicking and trying to create something in the Caribbean and stuff like that. Go look up Zovature and Rochambeau. A lot of those people in Jamaica, in Mexico, in places that Stebanico, discovered. Even in South America, you had Angolan slaves down there, doing capoeira. You know what I'm saying? And all kinds of stuff. So black people in the South was getting it in. And a lot of the slave artifacts and stuff and things from your ancestors are preserved actually, in certain places and stuff like that. Um, you know, um, those black people was getting it in. So a lot of people from different cultures, they don't like uh people from the Caribbean. They look at black people sideways when they speak Spanish, and in other different cultures, especially from the Caribbean and down south, because it symbolizes the L that a lot of cultures took. It symbolizes the biggest L that a lot of cultures took, because those slaves fought back. Those slaves were getting buck broken. Those slaves endured a completely different type of slavery, um in a concentration that were that was barbaric. So it's a lot. It's a lot of history in the West Indies.
Anorexia, no, it's a control mechanism. It actually has nothing even to do with weight. It just is like, this is the one thing you can control. And I just kind of called her out on that, and I raised my hand. I was like, whoa, wait a second. Okay, well, let's look at another statistic. What percentage of people are juicing up with steroids, right? That's not a super healthy thing to do. If we said that 90% of it was men, would you have presented to the class that it was because of women, right? Because women are telling them they have to look like this. And she was, when I say she went white, and she said to me,
Yeah, because you went against the sisterhood.
and I always tell the story on stage. She said to me, I feel like you were sent to me from the men's department.
Of course.
Yeah. And I told her back that I was sent to her from the
Yeah, Brazil was crazy, man. Those slaves was directly, a lot of those slaves down there were directly from Angola.
common sense department.
Yeah.
And that everything couldn't be because of men. So I think that was kind of the first time.
See, but this is the thing. It's easier, and this is why I'm really disappointed in the sister. Even though I get it, but I'm disappointed in the sisters that took feminism, because it's easier for white women to convince other white women of the patriarchy. When black women go home, they don't see any of that. They don't see any of that. Even black households aren't a patriarchy. So if anybody that's supposed to break free from the grips of feminism first, it would be a black person. What's going on, Anthony Southeast? Shout outs to you, bro. Oh, Anthony know what I'm talking about. He said I actually feel my white blood. Shout outs to Anthony Southeast. Good to see you, man. But no, I mean, this feminism thing, black women, should, like Candace, should snap out of it at a younger age. But the thing is that, to tell you the truth, it's kind of lucrative. It's kind of lucrative for black women to practice feminism, because this is the thing. It gives them dominion over naive men. It gives them dominion over. Oh my God, Chris, y'all killing me, man. Chris G, man, come on. But no, it gives them dominion over naive men. It gives them dominion over naive black men. So, it's a good amount of power to be wheeling around. So toying with black men and getting extra, trinkets from black men, because those men really think something's wrong with you, you know, fucked up as that may be, it's still a power play. But let's go.
that it clicked for me that this was some sort of a psychological program. In many ways, I was actually saved
And how
by.
old were you at that point?
I was in
early
college,
20s?
so I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the first year of college.
Yeah, and during Gen X and the millennial era, college was breaking the fuck out of it. To this day they are, but now you can't just be a regular feminist in college now. Now you gotta accept the LGBT. That's mandatory. You can't be a card carrying feminist now if you're not down with the trans and all kinds of other plans. Even feminists will call you out if you claim to be a feminist and you didn't get the app. If you didn't get the trans app, if you didn't read the memo, they're not trying to hear what you're talking about. You'll get kicked out of the feminist club. So now you definitely got to be down with the whole extremism and stuff like that. Because you could back in the day, you could be a feminist, but you didn't have to be super extreme. But now you got to be down with that shit.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a prerequisite. So it was interesting for me, I think.
Did that make you shift your priorities? Like, I
was never a gun-ho feminist. I just was like in the back of my mind, same way that I was liberal. Like I was never voting Democrat, but if you had asked me, what do you think about this? I would have very quickly been like, of course we need feminism.
Yeah.
And then I was kind of thinking, man, these women are really annoying in this classroom. Because then there were the majors that were there, you know, the people, these women that were tatted up and like growing their armpit hair out. You know, we had those people in class and I was like, I don't like any of these people. So it made me think that there was something more to the feminist movement, I think, which was indoctrination.
Interesting. Okay. So I think you've been able to do what every woman dreams of: have a family, have children, have your dream man, but simultaneously being able to also, you know, run a business and do what you want to do. And
You said the fact that they're career students these days doesn't help. You said, you know, I think that's why the people on the left want to differentiate people who are and liberal people who are actually progressive. You said the people who are actually leftists. My father is the same way. You know what I'm saying? It's the weirdest thing. My father is the same way. When my mother met my father, this nigga was a career student. You know what I'm saying? And damn near throughout my whole life, he was just in school. You know? So it was just the weirdest thing ever. Like my father was in school for a bunch of stuff. You know, there were certain years I couldn't tell you what he did. You know, like when one day, you know, he's in school. One day he was a car salesman. Next minute he's in law school, and then I don't even know what he does nowadays. You know, I think he's a judge. Let him tell it. I don't know. You know, he's just a career student. So you got people like that. You know, which is the craziest shit ever. And I'm like, damn. You know, when people say career student, I think of my father. You know, and next time I speak to him, I'll be like, man, what are you doing these days, man? You know. So, yeah, there's people like that. You know, they just go to school. Some people though, they have I don't know how people do it, but some people they just get all these free grants. You know, some people they get all these free grants and they just go and stay. You know, they just go and stay in school and shit like that, you know. So yeah, my father's one of those people. He just this nigga lives in school, you know. Yeah, I know, right? I know, right? He was a judge at one point, you know. I kind of really stay out of his business because after a while when you grow up, you know, people got a lot of shit going on. So, you know, yeah. Yeah. He used to be on the East Coast. He out in Cali now. So I told him I'm on this side of. I was talking to him and was telling him like, it's funny because my mother was like, she's telling me she don't know what's wrong with both me and him, because she was like, when he was younger too, he went to Thailand. And I was like, oh, true? She was like, yeah, when he was your age, he was out there in Thailand. I said, okay, I got to rap to him about that, because I didn't know that. But then again, I did know that, and it made sense because, like, I totally forgot. If y'all go watch the movie The Deer Hunter, there's this movie with Christopher Walken and Robert De Niro called The Deer Hunter. He's in that movie as an extra, though. Not the too wild, but as an extra. All right, let's go, y'all.
Notice when you were debating on Jubilee, some of them tried to say, "Oh, well, you're a
I don't
hypocrite.
want to say too much on here now.
You're over here talking about feminism being bad, blah 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 blah." But you obviously have a lot of things set up where you maximize your ability to be with your family, right? You do your show, get out of there, spend time with your family. What would you say to the people that sit there and try to call you a hypocrite because you're successful in your own right, but you've been able to also balance a family, which many women can't do. They want to do it, but
And this is the thing too that I wish a lot of sisters get, and hopefully it's not until it's too late. You want to know what feminism is designed to do for women in general, and a lot of the white women that know what it's used for know this. You do know as a woman, right? Feminism is actually designed to destroy your success. That's the whole point of blaming it on men. Feminism is actually designed to destroy your success and kind of be a scapegoat, fallout valve if things don't go your way. This is why a lot of them use the Me Too movement. A lot of times it's like, yeah, if I'm at the top, this ain't going to work. So let me start a relationship with somebody and then accuse them of doing something. Feminism is designed to squander your success. This is why you see Ebony K. Williams. This is why you see a whole bunch of sisters having a fuckload of problems. Because it wasn't designed to keep them successful. It's designed to squander your success. More on that later. Please hit the like button, support the show.
they
Let's
can't
go.
do it. What would your response be to those critics?
First and foremost, do not allow people to rule you by exceptions. What I mean by that is it is such a mistake to look at my life and to say, Candace did this, and so therefore I can do this. My life is actually exceptional, right? We are sitting in my house. I do things on my own terms. I wake up in the morning. I get to homeschool my kids, right? I'm homeschooling my children for hours. That's now very important to me. I get to do a podcast from home. And I am actually doing something that I enjoy, right? What is the number one thing? If you find any woman that makes it and she's successful, what is she doing? She's tapping into her femininity, communication, women communicate.
So I say that to say this. Before you actually become super successful, you got to ditch feminism. Got to ditch feminism. And the ones that hold on to it, Kendra G, Ebony K. Williams, Lisa Ray, Vivica Fox. Good luck.
Communicate more than men. I have a whole chapter on this. If you have a daughter and a son, you know this. Girls start speaking faster, and we will speak more words from men for the rest of our lives. And when you actually look,
what was I telling you last week and up until the last show? Women say 30,000 words, men say 10.
Look, and I ask people in this chapter, who is the most, if I ask you the question right now, who is the most successful man in the world? Just give me your answer. If you have to name a couple of them.
Elon. He gonna say Elon.
I was gonna say, like, from a financial perspective?
Just yeah, sure. Full stop. If I said who's the most successful man in the world,
Trump.
I mean,
you
could say like the richest guy in the world, who would be Elon, even though it pains to say that. But
okay, yeah, no, but that's the right. You would say Elon, or you would say
something based on meritocracy, finances, and
you would
status.
say Jeff Bezos.
Precisely.
Everyone would say the same answers, right? Yep. If I ask you who is the most successful woman in the world,
she in pout mode.
What would you say?
That's where it gets true. Yeah,
right.
I see what you're saying.
Like, what is it? Like off the top of your mind, like what are the names that come to your mind?
Yeah, it's an ambiguous. Like, you're like, okay, well, are we going to go off career? Are we going to go off where?
But
versus
most
a man,
people would say like Taylor Swift or Oprah. These women are nowhere near the richest women in the world. Nobody knows the name of the richest woman in the world. And so I go about through this in my chapter. Yeah, you'd say Beyonce. I'm like, these are the names that you would say off the top of your head.
Rihanna just got an award for the first black woman to own $2 billion companies. So Fenty is $1 billion company, and Fenty X Savage or something like that, which is a Fenty collaboration, is $1 billion. Rihanna got $3 billion. And I think more. Maybe 4 or 5, like $3 billion. I've been talking about this for years. Rihanna got like over 3 fucking buckaroos, y'all. $3 billion. Nigga. Jay-Z. Remember, Jay-Z was richer than all of them. Jay-Z was like the richest one than all of them. And Kanye and Rihanna just became so fucking successful. Is crazy. So damn successful is crazy.
Head. If I asked you who's the most successful, nobody knows. Everybody knows the names of the most the richest men in the world, and yet nobody knows the names of the richest women in the world.
Good
right?
point.
And nobody knows the names of them. And the answer is a Russian woman. And I talk about this in my book. I'm like, nobody knows her name. And the women that you do name actually all tapped into their femininity. Taylor Swift was writing songs about relationships. She was writing songs about looking for love. And women flocked to this. Oprah was communicating to the housewife, right? She was speaking about issues. They're tapping in actually to the one thing that actually you think they're standing against. Oh, they're the ultimate feminists. But they tapped into their femininity and found success, actually. And women do not, when we think about success, we don't measure it in terms of finances. That's why these women, we think, are the most, quote unquote, successful women in the world. Whereas men naturally think finances. Oh, it's Jeff Bezos, it's Elon Musk. So I do a chapter and I speak about that in my book about
what's going on, Larry. Absolutely. And then also too, when you couple it with music as the when you couple it with music as the vehicle to drive it, is even perfect. Rihanna hasn't made an album since Anti. Give y'all a little bit of a trajectory. Travis Scott damn near wrote all of Rihanna's last albums. And then, she got a song with she got a song written by one of my favorite groups called Tame Impala. So
the richest woman in the world is. And then the next 10 women who are the richest in the world are all rich because of who they divorced. Right?
Yep. Yeah.
So what is the picture that we're recognizing here? We don't measure success in the same terms as men measure success, nor should we. And it's important for women not to.
Well, that's what you're told. That's what you're told. See, this is an afterthought now because Candace got the marriage, she got the baby, she got, success is different from women. See, it's a difference, right? Both men and women, our biological imperative to a certain degree is to replicate ourselves, so don't let no woman try to tell you, oh, I had your baby. No, that's your baby too. It's a beautiful thing, but don't let no woman run around and act like she did you a favor because she had your kid. Y'all kid. Both of y'all kid, okay? Don't let her act like she did you a favor because she had a damn child. She didn't do no fucking favor. That is the most lowest thing that they can say. Oh, I had your kid. No, it's our kid. And women are obsessed with themselves. They're obsessed with mirrors. But that's the same thing that describes what women are. Women are mirrors. When you give them a seed, they reflect children, your kids, right? When you give them your physical seed, I mean your mental seed, they're supposed to reflect a better partner. Women and mirrors have a lot in common. Eve used to spend all day looking at the pond because she was obsessed with vanity. She was obsessed with her reflection. But let me give y'all some more game. Please support the show. Please hit the Cash App, hit the PayPal. It gets a little bit more deep. You see, this is the thing. Oh man, Fatty and Angry Man getting into it right now. But we almost done today's show, y'all. This is the thing. Um y'all want to be messy? Yo, y'all want to be messy? Y'all want to go see what Angry Man and Fatty's talking about? We can switch between both of their pages. Y'all want to go be messy? Just let me know. Look, one more supporter. We're going to get messy, y'all. Let me know. They're beefing right now in real time. So let me know if y'all want to be messy. But anyway, let me give y'all the game. All right. It doesn't matter if you can actually see your reflection, take a picture of yourself or a mirror. Do you know what you've never actually done in your lifetime? Every single one of y'all. You want to know what you've actually never successfully done? You've never laid eyes on yourself. You've never laid eyes on yourself. You've never seen yourself and how you look exactly with your naked eyes. You've always seen yourself in pictures. You've always seen yourself in the mirror. You've always seen yourself in the reflection of a car's paint, or glass. You've always seen yourself in whatever. But you've never actually laid eyes on yourself. The irony of it is, okay, I got to charge this thing, so I got to get up out of here anyway. Hold on, guys. The irony of it is you truly don't know what you look like. You truly don't know what you look like because you've never seen yourself. She probably did. It's a big tax write-off. Yeah, but you truly, you don't know, you don't know what you look like. So I say that to say this. Women will never know what they look like, no matter how much vanity they get themselves into and put themselves into. That's actually the irony of it. Women and men will never, can never know what they look like.
You want to know what's the only closest thing the only closest way that you can actually lay eyes on your own self is your children. Your children is the only damn way you can actually really truly lay eyes on your own damn self. You go your whole That's the funny part about your avatar, which is your body. You go your whole life not knowing what you look like to other people and to yourself to a certain degree, because the window to the soul, the only time you've ever seen yourself is in man-made objects, human-made objects. The mirror that the mirror that you've seen yourself in doesn't quite capture your detail perfectly. The camera that you've taken a picture in, a picture with, yes, 4K, but it doesn't quite capture too much of what you look like in real life without certain details and stuff like that. You never really know what you look like in real life. The craziest shit ever. But anyway, let's do 5 more minutes of this and then we're going to get up out of here. All right.
Think that becoming financially rich somehow means that you are successful or that you have triumphed something in life.
And since having children, like, how has that like shifted your priorities as far as, I mean, and you can go into as much detail or as little as you want, as far as like how you've kind of prioritized child rearing versus like maybe your career and doing social media as much? Because I noticed, you know, before you were super active, you still post obviously every day, but now it's like, you know, you have other priorities. So how has that kind of shifted?
Yeah, my family is my number one priority. I would say having kids made me more secure than ever before. I just don't care about the noise. None of it matters anymore. And also, I have real stake in this fight. Before, these were just ideas. America shouldn't be run like this. This is why, this is what's bad. Once you have kids, you have actually a real stake in the future of America. So when I am podcasting, the subjects that I am covering to me are existential, right? Are we being ruled by pedophiles and criminals? That's now existential for me. What is happening in the school systems? What is happening in these churches? What is going on? This is now existential because my children will inherit the America that I fight for or the America that I remain silent about.
No, they will inherit the beef and BS that they mama talked about, and people will try to take it out on them because they can't get to you, which is going to be crazy. But listen, guys, I'm running on fumes. I'm still a little bit under the weather. I want to thank you guys for hitting the like button. Thank you guys for supporting the show. I don't know if the replay of the last show was up. I got to go figure that shit out too. But listen, guys, I appreciate you guys. Please support the show on air, off air. If you enjoyed the show, support the show because you care. I am your gracious host, DJ Kuda, right back at the helm of today's show. Much love. I appreciate you guys. See you on the next one. Peace.